Hello and welcome back to Feed the Beast Ultimate for Minecraft version 1.4.7. Now, as you can see, I've had to swap out my goggles and legs for the Thamium armor set that I used while killing the Wither. Now, while the set is pretty sweet, it's just not quite the same, so I will have to replace that, because they broke completely. But using it has allowed me to fill another shelf of my bookshelf, I guess. That phrasing is sort of horrible, isn't it? It's very circular. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Either way, doing so has allowed me to collect a lot of materials. You can see I have stolen a great deal many pages. I've also ransacked the worlds of the silverwood trees and some shimmer leaves which grow underneath them. So I hope to be able to make use of that today. But first of all, we're going to repair my armor set very quickly. So let's get around to doing that, and then we can discuss what actually I have intended. So we'll come down here and I grab my wand as well. So the first and easiest of the two to make will be this. So let's go like so and put in the wand, and there we are. We have enchanted fabric. Then like this, I now have my thaumaturge's leggings. Now I will have to enchant these, of course, but we'll do that in just a moment. Now we're going to make the actual goggles of revealing. So first of all, we need a set of 2 thermometers. Like so, there we are, and then with these, and the 2 gold, and 4 leather, like so. Now I need Visum, Mutatio, and Precontatio, so, ow, damn, my legs. I can hopefully withdraw all I need. Let's see, Mutatio, great, that'll do. Oh, hell, that was a mistake. Sorry, bud. There you go. You disappeared with my bucket. Well, that's fine. I have 16 of them spare. Can't believe that you sucked my bucket into some sort of shadow realm. Whatever. Anyhow, we will toss in now the Precontatio, the Mutatio, and the carrots. There we are. That should be enough. And now I should be able to... Oh. That'll do it. There we are. Now I can make the goggles revealing. As you will see, right, when I put these goggles on, nothing appears down here in the bottom left corner. And the reason for that is that there is no aura in the atmosphere. I don't know what I did. I've somehow lost all of the aura. So the reason I grabbed this piece of cobblestone is that I can show you this. So this furnace, I learned this the other time when I was making the golems for my experience farm. By the way, you should check that out. That's pretty sweet if you hadn't seen it. But when we toss this in here, it's supposed to smelt, but it actually just destroys it because I have no aura left in the atmosphere. So that's really bad. That's the exact opposite of what you want. Now, I've tried to revitalize it. As you can see here, I have these glass shards that you can get, these water crystal clusters. So I'll pull this up in here. And as you can see, crystal clusters, they produce V. They increase V from beyond baseline levels. So I thought, oh, maybe I can, rejuvenate something, but it hasn't worked. And so what I can do now is take this and I can show you where there actually is V. So what you'll see is that since I'm here and there's no aura, there's no movement on the thermometer. I haven't used this since we first built it, like, I don't know, 10 episodes ago. So, but this points you to the closest aura node. And as you can see, it doesn't exist, but be gone. If I step outside, as I get closer, it should begin to point in this direction. So you'll see, yes, it does. So there are 2 aura nodes nearby me, but unfortunately they are too far away for them to be practical. And while there are ways to move aura nodes, they are drastically inefficient. And they can only move them like 20 blocks at a time, and these are easily beyond that. So my plan is to find a way to bring aura back to this place by some other means, because not being able to function the furnace is one thing, but the other part of it is that without V, I can't actually charge my wand. So as you see, when I'm standing here, it won't refill at all. And equally, I won't be able to charge my wand of excavation either. So what I need to do is somehow create or otherwise generate aura in this place. So I have plans to do that, but we'll explain them, after I actually get the materials. And so what I need, somewhat amusingly, or coincidentally, is silverwood. So I've already gathered some saplings from all the worlds I've gone to. As you can see, a great deal, many of them. but I'm going to continue to do that. And also, I need bees. Don't ask why. I know I said I wouldn't. I told myself I would never touch bees, but I have to. And also, I'm going to continue looking for pages because I would like to have a great deal many more of these. I'd like to find all of them because there's some very important things that I have planned. Now, like I said, I've already explored some of the silver wood, but you can see I've got quite a lot of the logs, and I also got more notebooks. So we have these pages as well as these pages. So I'm going to collect these all and put them in here, and then hopefully generate a world perfect for discovering more silverwood saplings and more of what I need to start getting into bees and more pages. So that's my next step. I'm going to work on that, and then we can come back and begin exploring that world. Alright, so a little bit later, and I've now categorized everything as usual and made a new book to explore, but also I used one of the extra notebooks I gathered on my travels to make what I will call the ideal case. And so I made copies of all the other pages in all the books and put them in here so that whenever I want to create a new world of this type, if I should need to, I can. So what we have here is a plains single biome, which is flat, and it's noon. 0 length normal sun, so that you always have permanent daytime with a dark moon, dark stars, i.e. they're not visible, with bright lighting, no weather, a star fissure, villages, and this extra page here, clear modifiers to ensure that no stray things are added. So then I could come over here, plains, single biome, flat, so on. And then now with all this in here, we can call this, I don't know, we can call it the Golden Child or something. I don't have a good name for it. So now we can actually begin to explore it, shall we? Okay, please. Hey, would you look at that? We did it. Okay, so we can see that this world is perfectly flat and there's nothing obstructing my view. So now it's super easy to see anything for me to raid. I can just come over here and be like, oh, okay, anything in here. And then I'm going to start being a little bit more choosy with what books I gather now that I have so many. So let's see, we have Rainbow. That sounds cool. But everything else in there I already have access to. I guess I will take the books though, because those are new. But the other thing is that this world will have access to more silverwood trees, so I can show off a weapon that I made in between episodes pretty quick. It's nothing incredibly fancy, because all I did was I enchanted one of the many acts of the streams I've collected in these worlds. So now all I can do is I just come up to here, to where a silverwood tree is, and break it down. What I can also do is use the wand of excavation on these leaves. Now, I know it's probably somewhat frivolous to do this. I don't know if you decrease the chances of getting a sapling. Oh, well, speak of the devil. But I don't know if you decrease a chance of getting a sapling by doing this, but I find that it's just much quicker to go about cutting down these trees. So every tree I find, I can cut down with the axe of the stream really quickly, and then remove its leaves with the wand of excavation in the hopes of getting more and more silverwood saplings. The other thing that's made available to me in these worlds, of course, are these places. Now, whoa, that's the star fissure there. Well, I guess that's good to know, although I did bring linking books. But I have access to these flints where I can get more loot. So there we go. I just steal away some iron. I could get my bucket back that was stolen from the void. Thank you very much. The other thing, of course, is these beehives. Now, I mentioned needing to get into bees, and the reason that this is fantastic in a way is because traditionally you'd have to use something called a scoop. Now, there is a way that you can make that using thaumium and such, but I made a discovery accidentally in between episodes that you could just use the wand of excavation on it and you get the bees and all the materials from it without needing it. So this is an infinite tool, which means that I could just run around and collect the materials that I need. So yeah, I'm going to continue exploring this world and taking everything that it has away because that's just fantastic. I mean, look at how easy, and also there's just no enemies to speak of. I can just run as fast as I can and not have to worry about being attacked by a bunch of angry Neanderthals. So it's pretty great. I could just, thank you, I need that. The reason that this world is so good, by the way, is because the way Minecraft generates features and terrain. So features always have a chance to be generated in terrain, so long as given conditions are, according to what they need. So these things obviously need flat ground and spaces where they can generate. And so by creating a perfectly flat world, the only terrain features, like there's nothing testing for that, I guess you might say. Like typically like mountains get in the way or, barriers between biomes. But by restricting it to just this biome, we can cheat a little bit. So I'm going to get up to the point where I have a 64 stack of saplings and then return, and hopefully we'll have more to work on because I'll have the bees and all this other crap that I need. Don't know why I said that so aggressively. Anyhow, gah, I'm gone. I'm dead. There are, of course, other things of value in these worlds besides just the silverwood trees, namely these flowers, which are harder to come by than you might expect in the overworld. So those, definitely flowers, but also this star fissure presents an opportunity to provide excellent way down straight to where the bottom of the world is, so that, given the need or whatever, you could do a lot of mining. So, like, bingo, there we are. Because something I really need, oh dear. Well, what? It's not supposed to happen. That was just unfathomable leagues of garbage. I mean, look at this. Okay, if I fall down to the exact same place, right? It works. I don't understand. So I went in and I recreated my inventory piece by piece. Some of it's not perfect. Some items I just, I got the important things, but some items have different durabilities or enchantments, as you'll see. But I guess that's recompense from the universe or whatever. I don't know. But I'm not going to worry too much about it. I was able to recreate what I could. So my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Oh, God. Okay, let's return to survival and pretend this never happened. Alright, moving on from crushing disappointment, let's start the next phase of my plan. So, what I need... Whoa. Whatever, he's not coming to attack me. So, what I need first is actually to begin researching. So, let's get that done really quickly. And with that, I have all the research I need. These are the end goal, the Stark Bees, which have influence with magic. So, we're going to make this, but to expedite bee production, we're going to make these necrotic frames, which require mortis, permutatio, lignum, venomum, bestiola, sounds a little dodgy, and also untreated frames. So, let's take a look at what those untreated frames need. So an untreated frame is just sticks and string easily enough. So I'm going to collect the materials for exactly 12 of these and then create them. The other thing that you need for bees is apiaries. Now, I have 2 of them because of that first village I went into. I don't know what's happening there. I have 2 apiaries from the first village I went into. But in order to make them, you need impregnated casings, which again sounds dodgy, which requires a carpenter and seed oil. So in order to do this, I need to get a little bit more industry going, which, as unfortunate as it is a necessary evil. I've decided that here will be a suitable place for my bee farm, not only because it's right nearby my house, which makes it convenient, but also it's just a perfect location because we have a plains here bordering a desert, which is just what I need for my purposes. And also there's a silverwood tree and a beehive here. This is like the universe declaring that this is the right spot. Some time has passed and now I have everything I need to make those necrotic frames. But rather than build them here, I have a plan to construct them in a place without any risk. Because I've had a revelation, which is that these worlds constantly have huge aura nodes. I mean, look at this. These have 2 aura nodes right next to each other, which are massive. And because of that, I don't care about dumping flux here. It's not going to matter. I won't be here to suffer the consequences. And so I've brought with me the materials to construct a second cauldron and make my constructions here. So what I'll do is I'll withdraw everything out of here. What we'll do, place a treated frame in there, and then we go like this. Now, I've built what feels like some sort of witch's brew because I have a formula here that I can make use of. So the math of this is that for every necrotic frame, I need 1 spider eye, 6 string, 4 bones, 12 seeds, and 2 planks. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Counting with Ian, and then 2 wood. And there we go. Now this is everything we need for this. So with the wand in hand, we can now make the first of our necrotic frames. And now I'm going to just repeat this for every single one of these. And I'll come back once I have that done because it's just going to be me sitting here counting to myself, which I doubt that you would want to watch. Alright, and now it's moving day, so we're going to have to move all of these bees over there to my new home for them. However, I don't want to do this by hand because I don't really have enough room in my inventory, and so what I'm going to do is actually make a new item with which to carry bees, both to my new place, but also whenever I go into new worlds, it'll make it easier for me to collect them. So what we're going to do is place a chest and surround it with parched combs. It can be any honeycomb. And we will make an apiarist chest. Then with this and 2 wool, as well as 4 string and 2 sticks, I can make something called the apiarist's backpack. Now, as you'll read here, it says it has 125 slots. And when you open it up, it has all of these different grids where you can put bees. So I'm not going to do this with any real sort of sorting. All I'm going to do is pull all of these out. So as you can see, now we have all of the bees here. So let's just go to our new place that I've designed. So I placed it across the water, like I said, and you can, oh dear, you can see it just cresting out over here. It's very small. It's quite a shack. I mean, it's like, 5 by 5 at max. But there you go. So this is going to be where I can have all of my bee stuff. Now, I can just place this in here for now, along with the frozen combs, because if I'm actually going to make any progress with bees, I need to explore some of the machines in forestry. First of all, the first thing I need to create is something called a steam engine, which looks like this. In order to do that, I have laid out everything that I need here. So let's go like so. All you need is 2 copper surrounded like this. Now, there is some construction going on outside. If you hear anything, I hope it doesn't get picked up too bad. But there we are. We now have our steam engine. Okay, now we have the steam engine, so we can move on to the next piece of the puzzle. So what we'll do is, first of all, place a piece of gold like so, surrounded by glass, and 4 iron, like so, to get a machine frame. Because what we're about to make is something referred to as a pulverizer, if I can spell it. So, with this, you need a machine frame, a piston, and a redstone reception coil. Now, redstone reception coil is made like so, and then the pulverizer is done. There we are. God, I love that I can shift-click now. Tech8 couldn't let me do that. With the pulverizer done, to make anything else, I actually need these ingredients. So what we'll do is we'll step outside here, maybe, around the back, and then I can place down my pulverizer like so, with the steam engine beneath it, and then if I feed it water and solid fuel, it will begin to work. Now what I need is iron and ferrous, so I will put in all of my ferrous, I guess. I don't see any reason not to, because what I need is Invar. Now this will take a long time to work. These machines are fairly slow, so I'll let this run through, and then I'll come back when I have the materials for what I need to build next. Now, while that is smelting, I can actually make the next thing. So, what I'm trying to make, as you just saw, is the induction smelter. So, I need another machine frame and another reception coil, so let's go through the process for that. Bingo, reception coil, machine frame, and this, there we are, induction smelter. Now, I won't actually be able to use this yet, because I need power, of course, for it. Now, I can use the steam engine. In fact, I probably likely will place the induction smelter like so, and then we can use this in future to make what I need otherwise. Now, we are going to turn the rest of the iron dust and the nickel into Invar like so. We have quite a lot, and now I actually have enough to begin showing off the next phase of the plan, which is that I'm going to make magmatic engines, which are an upgrade on the steam engine that actually produce based off lava rather than solid fuel with liquid coolant. So we need invar, redstone transmission coils, and pistons. So we have all of that here. So we can go like so, make redstone reception coils, and then the invar gears, we need many of these. We will only make 2 for now, though, because I do actually want to be able to make one of these magmatic dynamos just to show it off. And there we are. We now have our first, it's called an engine. Either way, our first magmatic engine. Now, each of these takes 11 invar, so I can actually make the second one now. So there we are. We now have 2 of the magmatic engines. And the way we'll do this is we'll place them like so in a sort of a T, not a T shape, an upside down V shape, you might say, because we're going to have 3 machines that these need to be powered. While that is cooking, I guess I can work on the rest of the induction smelters. So the reason that we need this induction smelter is to make certain items almost alloys. And the first of them is with lead and obsidian. Now, I have made a critical mistake here, which is that I actually need to first pulverize the obsidian. So we'll go like this and realize that I actually need water in here now. Oh dear. This is working along, so I can now make the next of the magmatic engines. So we go like so. There we are, magmatic engine. And now we have all 3 of them that I need. So with that done, that's spectacular. And I guess I don't really need this going anymore, but whatever. So we have the first of our obsidian dust. Excellent. And then now we should get the second one any moment soon. There we are. We now have an obsidian dust. Now I am going to break this again, which feels wasteful. I think I'm actually wasting energy every time I do this. But now we need the lead ingot and 2 obsidian dust. And then the induction smelter will produce the next material that I need. Now, this is referred to as hardened glass. So what I can do is take a piece of hardened glass with 2 copper, and we'll make something referred to as liquidux. In order to make what I need next, I need bronze, which is made with the induction smelter, and copper and tin. Now, the ratio is really bad. The ratio of copper to tin is 3 to 1 when using the induction smelter with the ingots here, but it does produce bronze, which is just what I need. So we can just leave this running, and we'll get, all the copper, not all the copper, all the bronze that I could possibly need to make the next set of machines. And there are 3 of them. They are referred to as the carpenter, the squeezer, and the centrifuge. And this is actually working really quickly, so I can actually pretty soon be able to show you the first of them. Now, I won't be able to make the carpenter because that requires bronze more, but I can show off one of the others. So what we'll do is if you place a set of 8 bronze like so, you can get something called a sturdy casing. And then with a sturdy casing and a piece of glass on the top and bottom, as well as 6 tin, you can make something called a squeezer. With another set of 8 bronze and 2 glass at the top and bottom once again, and 6 copper, you can make something called the centrifuge. If we go like so, we can produce a sturdy casing, and then with the 6 bronze either side, the sturdy casing in the middle, and 2 glass, we can now have a carpenter. So now we have all 3 of the machines that I need. So what we can do is take them like so. Now I do want these in a specific arrangement, so I'll place the carpenter first, followed by the squeezer, and then by the centrifuge, like so. And the reason that we made the liquidux is because the squeezer produces something called seed oil, which the carpenter uses. So we can place the liquiduct like so, and then right click, and it will become an outlet. Now the only way this runs is with redstone power, so we can place a lever like so, and then whenever this produces seed oil, it will flow out into here. Now, of course, we do actually need to rotate each of these magmatic dynamos around to face the proper direction. So we'll go like so. There we are. Now, I'm not super happy with how this looks just because I have to have things sort of suspended in this weird arrangement, but there's nothing much I can do about it. However, the way I'm going to power these magmatic dynamos is with lava, as is the only way that you can power them. But when I power them, I need an access to lava, like a very easy access to lava, and so I created something preemptively for this, which I could show off now. So I made a book here that I called lava, and so what we'll do is we'll place a book stand here with a linking book, like so, lava, and then if I stand here, and I have more books in my inventory, of course, because I always bring extra spares just in the case that I need them, and go like so, I can create a linking book to this place, then travel here to the nether, which is right on the floor, and withdraw this book because it is now redundant, and just throw it actually. So now I have access to this pool of lava here, which is relatively infinite for all intents and purposes. So I will fill my inventory with lava buckets and just completely ruin the look of this nether. It's going to look so nasty in here, but I don't particularly mind. And then I can travel back to the overworld and put these in these magmatic dynamos, and then they should power my machines for as long as I could possibly need them. But in order to actually use this carpenter, you have to supply it with a recipe. And the recipe that I'm looking for is something called an impregnated casing. So what you do is you left click to assign a recipe, and then you give it materials. There we are. We now have impregnated casing. So we'll do this again and just leave that to run. And now, with these impregnated casings, what you do is you place them like so, with the wood on either side, and like so. And they now, we have apiaries. So we can withdraw the apiaries as such and place them like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And there we go. So we now have our 4 apiaries. What you'll see, if I grab a bee out of here, let's just grab a forest drone, for instance. When I place the drone in here, it says no queen, but, well, I suppose I can actually fill it the entire way. Let's do this. Forest princess. There we go. So what you'll see is these 2 bees will combine within here with this bar. And then this queen will try and work. Now, what it needs in order to work properly is for the bees to have the right climate and to have the right sort of things nearby. Now, one of the things that bees like is flowers, of course. So what I will do, I've recovered a great deal many flowers, is I will place them around here as a means of making the bees happy and make them work efficiently. So we can do this in some sort of semi-random arrangement, which is actually going to look very pretty. I'm quite pleased with that. Amazing. Let's put some more of these down, and there we go. So now we have all the flowers around this to make sure that these bees are working nice and plentifully. But what you'll notice is that these bees, this bar here on the side is how long it will take for this queen to die, for a next generation to begin for the bees. Now, normally you wouldn't want that, actually. When you're working with bees, you want them to live for a long time so that they can produce honey and other such things for you. However, because I'm not interested in any of the beginning bees, my goal is actually for them to die quickly. And so that they would, further generations would come, and then that way more mutations would happen, and I can take advantage of the bees' sort of natural gene pool to get the bees that I'm looking for. So that's why in here we have the 12 necrotic frames that I made. And now I figure is a good enough time to show you the sort of chart that I made. So we got more drones and more princesses out, but let's pull up that chart and then we can walk through my sort of plans here. So what you'll see here is the diagram for the creation of these Stark bees, which I'm after, and the 2 branches that I have to follow for creating them. Now, each of these branches leads off in their own directions with each of the bees that you need in order to create them. Beginning with the bees that you get from the hives that exist they pre-exist in the world, and then they combine together to make common with another hive, to make cultivated, and so on, all the way up to the top. So, in the next episodes, I'll continue to work through this until we reach this pinnacle here, and then we'll finally be able to use the bees in order to restore some of the aura to the atmosphere. You'll see how I do that in the next time, but if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Anyhow, I'm done here.